Let's bring in former Homeland Security Supervisor Charles Marino. Charles, it's not just in Australia, unfortunately, the same kinds of thing. I mean, not to this level, but we've seen a rise in anti-Semitism attacks in the United States as well.
Yeah, not dissimilar at all to what we're seeing here in the United States and around the rest of the world for anybody that bought into this failed global experiment of unchecked mass migration. Look, while you're seeing those boos associated directly with the outrage regarding this terrorist attack, there's a bigger picture here that we need to pay attention to. And it's the resentment. It's the resentment from citizens that they're being made to feel like foreigners in their own countries, that their border security was stood down, that their immigration enforcement was abandoned, that there's been a loss as a result of their sovereignty, their values, and their culture. None of this is good. I don't care what country we're talking about. None of this is good for a country's national security. And we keep seeing the repercussions around the world, including here in the United States.
Well, and you know, you've had a couple of recent killings by people who were allowed into the country either illegally or legally. But they got into the U.S. and decided to pick up a gun and kill people, kill Americans.
Well, we know there are significant shortcomings in the vetting process. And at some point in time, countries need to make the responsible decision and say, we cannot verify based on the countries of origin who you are and what your background is. And until countries like we're seeing from the Trump administration refrain from making these tough decisions, unfortunately, we're going to see these scenarios play out over and over again. The vetting is only as good as the systems we vet against. I've said it 100 times. There is no possible way that we can vet somebody from a special interest location like Somalia, who doesn't even have a running government, and say that we can thoroughly check them out and assure the American public that they will not present a threat to American citizens going forward. Look, this is tough. National security is about tough decisions. And until we're prepared to sometimes say the quiet part out loud and call the problems for what they are, we're not going to solve these problems.
Jews are a relatively small percentage of the American population, and yet they take the brunt of the hatred and the hate crimes. The FBI, in its 2024 hate crime report, says 1,938 single bias hate crimes occurred against Jews, the highest number ever recorded since that agency began collecting data in 1991. And anti-Jewish incidents comprised nearly 70% of all religion-based hate crimes in this country. Is there an easy explanation for that, Charles? Is there a reason for that?
Well, there is. Let's look at it this way. We encountered 180 different countries at our southwest border that were either allowed in or evaded in any type of enforcement and made their way into the country. All 180 of those countries do not have the same shared values as those of us in the United States that are citizens. They all bring their own cultures. They all bring their own ideologies. And part of these ideologies, as we know, that exists around the world, is a high rate of anti-Semitism. So why do we continue to be shocked over and over again as a country when we have people that don't share the values of the American people and actually possess a deep hatred of particular cultures? So we are importing all of these threats and have been embraced under the Biden administration. They were allowed to come in here, and they don't care about our shared values here in the country. And they possess a deep hatred for other cultures and ideologies.
So as the president tries to deport as many, especially of the criminal illegal aliens, you think, you hope that this scourge is going to decrease?
Well, naturally, it should, but it's not going to be an easy undertaking, as we've seen with 20 to 25 million illegals that were allowed into the country. We also saw an exploitation of what once was legal pathways into the country, like parole and asylum. So the whole system was compromised under the Biden administration. And now while we're taking a prioritized approach to those that are committing additional crimes, we have to know that there are those that have made their way into the U.S. that remain below the surface with a deep hatred for this country, with an allegiance to terrorist organizations and other radical ideologies. It continues to be a problem.
Yeah, let's hope we can dig those people up before they kill. Chuck Marino, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.